Either that or Andy Serkis was literally just like, I'm hiring all British.
Sal,
Right.
I've got a job for you. You're a cameo. You're in a toilet. Yeah, come on down.
Don't worry, don't have to do any mocap. I'm doing it all.
Yeah. I'm doing everything. No. Oh, she's like, so we're going to be filming in an actual toilet then? Nah, I'm going to green screen it, aren't I?
I'm going to play the toilet stall and the toilet.
That's what I do, Sal.
You just got to sit on my lap.
I'm going to be the toilet. I'm going to be the stall. I'll probably be Venom in it as well. So.
He will, yeah. He can't see. I know that. Just so you know, listeners, it's currently midnight.
Yeah.
And we've just got back from the cinema, having watched.
We fly by the seat of our pants.
We do.
And,
what? I've never heard.
Never heard "fly by the seat of your pants."
He said it in podcasts with you.
With me?
Yeah.
A few times.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
It means you're just basically making it up as you go along.
You fly by the seat of your pants. That doesn't make any sense.
I didn't make it up.
I've thought into it. It really doesn't, but it is literally a saying.
I didn't make it up. Have these qualms with someone who made it up.
It's Boris. He likes to play games. You sit on it, but you don't take it with you. Is that one of those riddles?
Flying
by the seat of your pants.
Yeah, he said it.
Welcome to the Venom podcast, listeners. We're what a start.
Yeah, welcome to Two Reels podcast. This week we went to see just a moment ago. Went to see Venom, Let There Be Carnage. It was good.
It was good.
It was good.
I'm on no question mark. Good.
All right.
You think everything's good?
Isn't like
you probably think the room's good.
Yeah,
no, it's got some good moments. See
No,
what they were
honestly,
trying to do.
Tommy Wiseau is a bit of a genius.
When I first saw one, I was kind of like, is that good?
Is that good?
And then I watched it last night as a catch up, and I liked it a lot more, and I like this one too.
Yeah, one is good.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
This one
is good.
Well, we'll get around to doing
I'm on the cusp of both.
We'll get around to doing a actual out of 5. Not sure what's yet, but we'll get around to doing an actual. Wait, we'll do a rating for both Venom movies.
Oh yeah,
because we're going to talk about Venom: Let There Be Carnage, but we will be sprinkling nuggets of Venom.
Sprinkling nuggets. Where are you getting these expressions?
This is Two Reels. We're a super serious podcast.
What's that other expression that you say every time? What is it?
I don't know.
It's like your catchphrase, basically.
What is my catchphrase?
It's something to do. It's when you're describing like a film and how it
exposition.
Yeah, but no, come on, Sam. What is it? It's like when you're describing like the way in which a film does something, and you use a word.
I'm so blank right now, but I know what you're talking about.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah. What is that? I'll tell you what. I'm going to listen out for it. And
If it happens, it will happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've said quite a few catchphrases in the first couple of minutes here
already.
So because I think we're making up for lost time because we didn't do anything in.
So we're throwing all the catchphrases in on this one because we want to sell some T-shirts, guys.
Yeah. So we got merch is coming up soon. So
dangerously close.
So we're on 800.
In time for Christmas.
We're on 800 unique downloads as of today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you, listeners.
And No Time to Die, the one since last podcast was our fastest rising because it went from 0 to our most downloaded in 9 days.
That's crazy.
You are welcome. It's good to be back.
But we went to see Let There Be Carnage.
This one literally kicks off where the last one ended.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It seems like some time has passed though, but a bit to its credit, unlike Bond, no real explanation of how much time, but we get an idea that it's been some time since the last one. Eddie seems to have sort of fallen off the wagon again a bit. because he went in the way the last one ended. It seemed like he's got himself on his feet, but then Cassius, is it Cassius Cassidy?
Cassius Clay.
No, not Cassius.
Venom versus Cassius Clay.
Cassidy is Cassius. What is it? Cassius Cassidy. Yeah, it's Cassius Cassidy. Yeah.
Is it
Cletus
Cletus.
Cassidy?
Cletus Cassidy?
Says something about how, like, because he gives him this is at the beginning, is it? He gives him the off. Eddie's been called in to talk to him again because he wants to talk to him.
Yeah.
But now at this point they've introduced that cop character as well. Oh, it actually starts.
Stephen Graham.
It actually starts with a bit of a flashback exposition flashback of Cletus and Francis.
Yes.
They're in the
that's
Institute,
right. Yeah.
Yes.
And we get a bit of a touch on Cletus's origin.
I mean, it says that it was in 1996, and Woody Harrelson would have looked exactly the same.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why they replaced the actor with a younger version of the character.
And
I was
then-
like, just de-age Woody
And
Harrelson
also,
a little
I'm
bit.
pretty sure that was his voice. 'Cause I've noticed them do this in movies, modern movies, rather than having the actor playing the younger version just do a similar voice. They just do, obviously with special effects now they have the technology. They just like have the actor presumably mime the lines, and then they sort of put the voice in of the.
Well, if not though, spot on impression. Well done.
Oh no, they did.
No, I think they did.
Okay.
You can always
It
tell.
could tell. It was Woody
was-
Harrelson.
yeah.
Woody Harrelson has a very specific voice.
Yeah, exactly.
It
When
wasn't.
I found out he was playing this, because just like a bit on Carnage, because I've always would like the idea of Woody Harrelson as the Joker anyway. As playing the Joker. The reason Carnage
Interesting.
exists is because Marvel wanted their own Joker, so they made up Cletus Cassidy, who's basically an homage to the Joker, and then they brought this whole Carnage character in. So it's sort of his way of playing the Joker. That kind of
Well, if
horrible
that's
serial
true,
killer.
then I feel like that's thrown me. I've got to admit, that's thrown me a bit, because if that's true, then he's been wasted if he's supposed to be like Venom's ultimate arch nemesis, then shouldn't there be more of a big build up to that? I
mean, there's not. I know this is a bit of a weird comparison, but Venom isn't as big as Batman.
No.
So for the comparison's sake, like, yeah, he might be that that character's version of the villain. So like the comparison's a bit of a weird one, because Venom isn't as big as Batman, so that means that Carnage wouldn't be as big as the Joker. So I can understand why you'd be like, well, we'll use him in the second film, because there probably won't be like 4 or 5 movie. There might be like 3 Venom films.
Yeah.
So for you to be like, oh, don't they want to build him up a little bit more? It's probably like, well, no, actually, because
they're not
going to make like
more
loads of
movies.
movies.
Yeah.
So
they can kill the villain.
Carnage is not going to get his own spin-off. So with Joaquin Phoenix dancing on some steps to Gary Glitter.
You say that, mate, but we were talking obviously in the last podcast. We were talking about the Marvel TV shows, and the news recently. And Sam sent me a picture on Instagram where it shows you the slate of like newly announced or like rumored TV shows that are going to come out on Disney Plus. And honestly, it's like everyone's getting a show.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, oh, and because now Sony and Marvel have made a deal, so obviously Disney have made a deal. Carnage is going to get a spin-off on Disney Plus. I wouldn't have been surprised if all over Instagram
young Cletus.
Yeah.
I don't like that whole what you just said about the list and the
No.
nor do we.
Like
we don't.
It's
all
getting
characters.
now, isn't it?
It's all characters
It's
we like, because we can't. It's not bad characters. All brilliant characters.
But they just need to be in a bigger show with other people.
Disney are like the Newcastle of
They are now.
the TV world.
Yeah.
or previously the PSG
Yeah.
of the TV world, just buying up everything.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
Buying up everything and then just like milking it
Yeah.
into oblivion.
Yeah.
That poor cow and its milkless udders.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing left.
Standing-
Well, so at some point in the near future, there'll be nothing left.
Standing on the shoulders of giants that came before them and shitting all over them. Anyway, back to Venom.
Anyway, back to Venom.
So it starts with that. You get that scene. We find out a little bit about his part, like his story. Basically, just a little glimpse, enough into his story, so that it plays in later on. Then it jumps ahead, and it obviously comes to like present day, and it's Brock has been called in by Cletus supposedly again, but some time after.
I feel like they used the same footage from the end of the last film. In the first time that he meets him in the prison.
Yeah,
I feel like I don't know. I might be wrong,
But
Brock
he
was wearing different clothes.
had a different hairstyle.
and
he?
Brock was wearing different clothes.
Because in the first film, in the post-credit scene or
Yeah.
the mid-credit scene,
It's like-
he's got like a big ginger afro.
longer and wilder.
That is true.
Yeah.
And then
And then in the next film, and then when I saw the trailer for this film, I was like, "Where's this?
he's been to cool cuts.
Where's his afro gone? Like, why did they do that? They're not going to use it."
They literally were just like, we've gone too far this
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
and they were just
yeah.
like,
No one's going to take him seriously as a villain with that ridiculous.
No.
With that, he looked like
Mop on his
Sideshow
head.
Bob. From
he
The
looks
Simpsons.
like Sideshow Bob, but he also looked like is it Jonah Hill's character in like Megamind or something?
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like he looks
Yeah.
exactly like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, so he's the big bad in the next Venom film, is he?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like,
And
great.
Eddie's wearing different clothes as well.
Oh, okay.
And they actually reference it that it's a new visit. That he messed up something like he messed up last time or something. They don't really say what it is, but then obviously Cletus gives him the proposition of he will give him his story because the written word's not going so well. Because at the end of the last one, he says about he had the opportunity to do his show. A network offered him to do his show, but he said he's going to stick to the written word, that sort of thing. So it sounds like he's got a column. And he has got a regular column in a newspaper, but it's still going a bit like he's living paycheck to paycheck. Kind of thing.
Doesn't it look like he's from looking at directly at his laptop, which they gave like so many close-ups to, just so you could see the Daily Bugle logo.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he writes for that newspaper
noticed that.
as a freelance, maybe.
Which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
weird
yeah.
because the
He has a
Daily
column.
Bugle's based in New York.
Yeah, and he got
and
fired
he's
from
in
it.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he specifically states that he got
But to be fair, in the modern age, you could live in San Francisco and work for
That's
New York.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, you could actually. To be fair, yeah.
Yeah. But
But why would you? Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
whoever would hire him,
Slight
he's got a
plot
column.
holes.
Yeah.
No, not plot holes, but just
Yeah.
slightly weird Easter eggs not explained.
Yeah.
I mean, you could literally sum it up in he doesn't want to leave San Francisco because that's where Anne is, but the Daily Bugle really wanted to work for them, so they agreed that he could just write it in and send it in. So, but yeah, so he goes along for this supposedly second chance at this interview that he doesn't even want. But the reason he's going in isn't necessarily for his own selfish reasons. It's because they feel like if he talks to Cassidy, he would get information about all these bodies he's got somewhere.
Kind of
So
skipped
there's-
over that bit, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
They did. They weren't specific in what was like missing. What was the missing piece from their investigations? I know they said like, oh, there's loads of dead bodies like, and that never turned up. It's like, right, okay, we need to know more about like what exactly they're looking for. You know, like there wasn't much about the investigation into like what he's done.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of put on like, oh, he's on death row, and
Yeah.
you know, he's going to be executed. Man, the fact
No,
that
at that
the
point-
fact that they brought back the death sentence just
Yeah.
to kill him is so cringe.
At that
Yeah.
point, though, at the beginning of that point, there is no death sentence. They bring it back.
Yeah.
Which I don't.
I don't think you can
You
just
can
do that.
But I'm thinking maybe
I know it's
you
a comic
can,
book
but no
film,
one's
so-
actually done it. I think it's
Yeah,
one of the
right.
probably one of those things where you actually technically can, but no one's been a muff of a monster to do it.
Also, they don't really. I'm sorry if you've literally just said this, but they don't even really go into detail about what his crimes were.
He's a
after-
serial killer. He's
I know,
killed-
I know,
That's
yeah, I know
what I
he's a
know.
serial killer, and I know obviously it's
then-
explained a little bit later that he killed his parents or his
But
mum
that
and his
all
dad.
that stuff was before he was institutionalized.
Yeah, yeah.
So but
And then he gets out, and then he's a
But then
serial
at his
killer.
execution, there are like families of his victims and stuff. But they don't go into detail about that. Like, they just say, "Oh, he was a serial killer." It's like,
I don't know.
why?
I don't know if that's just a thing.
How many people did he kill? What was his MO?
No, the idea with I've been, the comic I've been reading recently, and the way Eddie Brock describes him in that is his death count will make politicians and tyrants jealous. The idea is he has just killed a fuckload of people for no reason. They don't even I don't know if they go too much into it. It's this guy is a fucking killer. And
they should have. That would have been a much better film if it was set during his killing spree, and Eddie has to go after him.
That is true. I feel like in a lot of bits we'll get to as we go along. A lot of bits they seem to like skip a scene. Before we watched the film, we were like, "Oh, it's going to be a 90 minutes type movie." You know, and then some bits I was just like, how did we get from A to B in this film?
Yeah, there was a few.
There's a few missing details that I just... You could have made it like a 2 hour with a few extra scenes detailing what we've just said.
Well, the first one is 2 hours, so it would have been literally just the same thing. Yeah, I was surprised how uncompact it wasn't. I was expecting, because of the first one, thinking, right, they've done the exhibition in the first one, so now this is going to literally be... We're just going to roll into it. But there was actually still quite a lot of storytelling and stuff, which isn't a bad thing, but it was a bit, okay, there is still, there wasn't as much, I don't know. I
don't think there was as much action as
I think I was expecting it to be a lot more action-packed. I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, because the scenes, I enjoyed the whole thing. It was funny, and I like the funny element of these movies. One of my favourite things about this is Eddie and... Venom's kind of back and forth. That was brilliant. I love the whole like sort of almost couple aspect to it. It's so good.
The fact that it's all the way through in this film is obviously different to the last one, because obviously it's an origin story. Kind of starts like halfway through is when this kind of dynamic starts.
Yeah.
To have it all the way through here, you might think that it would get annoying. You know, or it might just be too much if it's a whole way through. I think they did it pretty well.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
I agree, but I also agree with Liam's point that there was quite a lot of just sort of domestic banter scenes, and not enough of action. Smashing up each other kind of action.
Yeah,
relied too heavy on the couple aspect, which people like.
Yeah, I did like
we
that.
liked, but relied on it too much.
I would have if you asked me, right, okay, we've got quite a lot of domestic funny scenes, but if we just drop one or two, we can put some more action in. I'd probably go, okay, yeah, I can sacrifice one or two. I get what you're saying.
I mean, like the scene. I must admit the scene where Venom goes to like a nightclub. And that just made me cringe.
Did it make you cringe? I kind of
liked it. Yeah. I really liked it.
I didn't like it.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was good.
Yeah,
but it was. I feel like it didn't need to be as heavy-handed, maybe.
No, and even that speech on stage was a bit too long.
Yeah, bit heavy-handed, bit on the nose.
I liked it. I liked going on stage, interrupting him and talking, but he was just talking a bit too long. And it was just, and it kind of went on and on. It was just sort of like, yeah.
He's so lucky he went to a nightclub on like Halloween.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like everyone's dressed up.
I mean, this is.
Like,
he's
found a
nice.
You're right. I do think I really like the comedy aspect. I really like the dynamic and the relationship, and I think some of the funniest bits for me personally are when Venom just makes an off the cuff comment.
Yeah.
Usually when it's Eddie and it's just the voice.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's when I think it's funniest.
I will eat Mrs. Joe.
Yeah, exactly. Things like that. But I thought that scene where Venom goes clubbing was a bit too much. I don't know. It didn't make me laugh.
Oh, okay.
So I was just like, what's the point of this scene?
Oh, okay.
Like,
it's supposed to be funny.
He misses Eddie.
Yeah,
that's basically.
It was a bit like, it's a bit. It's like, look, I can do it without you, Eddie, kind of thing. But then I think there's an element, he misses him, but it's the whole it's like it was supposed to reflect like a relationship. It was I found it funny, but I do think it was a bit too long. It was a bit too long.
And also, I don't like,
it could have done a lot quicker.
Venom is a badass, right? So I don't want to see him like, clubbing with nightsticks round his neck.
But this Venom isn't.
Yeah, but he is though. He can still be funny and witty and that, but he's still hard. Like he's a badass.
I don't think even from the first one, they didn't really establish him as that kind of. He was always been a little bit. He was. I know he wanted to bite people's heads off and stuff, but he's always been quite. I've never seen him as a badass. Like, he's a fucking monster and he'll bite you and kill you and eat stuff. But his personality, he's not badass. It's quite intelligent and almost a sophisticated kind of thing of it, and quite sensitive. Like, they've made that from even in the first one.
Is that what you want from Venom?
I didn't think it was. Honestly, I didn't think it was.
Sensitive Venom.
I didn't think so, but it's funny. It's ended up with some brilliant comedy.
In touch with his feminine side.
Literally,
maybe.
What are they going to do in the next movie? They're going to have like Venom in a penny, like baking some cookies, and being like.
Probably.
They basically had that scene.
They nearly had that scene in this.
Yeah, basically.
With him trying to sing along to.
It's No Time to Family all over again.
No time to family.
Sorry, I mean No Time to Die.
No time to family.
They've taken a very, very...
Venom is a 1,000-year-old symbiote.
That's why my first watch of Venom...
But he's got to learn how to be in another man's body.
He's two dads and a baby.
Because my exposure to Venom really was the 90s cartoon.
Yeah, same.
So he was a bad guy. I didn't even know he was had a moral compass. He was just a bad guy.
Yeah.
And then saw the first movie and I was like, and I honestly was a bit like, oh, okay, so he's quite clever. It never even in the cartoon didn't really treat it much like there's two personalities there.
Yeah.
It was always, as soon as they were together, it was we.
Yeah.
Brock would come out and talk to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then when Venom went on, it was we again. There was no like symbiote and person.
Yeah.
But apparently that has been a thing the whole way through in the comic. Because after watching the first film, I looked it all up, and Venom's got a moral compass because his first host was Spider-Man. The reason they bond is because they both hate Spider-Man and he feels betrayed, so he is quite sensitive. Literally, and it all was like ticking them up. I was like, so he is this badass, but in this movie they kind of wanted to lean into the more personality side of Venom. Which the current comic book I'm reading at the moment, very much he has a personality and stuff like that as well. And so it is actually on brand with the comic, but he's just, I think the problem is we've only seen the 90s cartoon where he's this villain, but it turns out the whole time he's been this weird anti-hero that's actually got
Spider-Man,
and Spider-Man
Don't
3.
forget Spider-Man 3, which is great.
We don't count that.
So one Spider-Man thing.
That never happened.
But I do think in the first Venom film, they achieved that balance nicely of the comedy element of and Venom being
this monster
vulnerable, but also that he's like hard to control, and him and Eddie, and he like wants to kill people and rip their heads off and stuff.
Yeah, but that was in this.
It was in this, but in this film I thought like, it was too far the other way, like with the clubbing scene. It's just too don't need that. We got enough comedy. We've got enough like relationship problems. Like Dan saying, "Oh, those two we needed some real couples counselling."
Yeah,
comments like that I can forgive.
Look, just on that note, where it's kind of a bit cliche. Yeah. This film was very cliche heavy.
It was,
especially in the dialogue.
Yeah,
especially when she said an eye for an eye.
Yeah,
I know this is skipping ahead a little bit. Yeah. Screech or whatever her name is.
Did they ever explain how she got that eye?
Yeah, he shot
her in the eye.
Oh, he shot her in the eye.
Yeah.
I didn't get
Stephen
that.
Graham's character, when he was young, also didn't have Stephen Graham playing a younger version of himself.
Yeah.
As a cop who was just helping transport her.
Yeah, but that was on purpose because we weren't supposed to know it was him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I understand that. But yeah, he was responsible. And she was just like, "I'm gonna."
On that as well.
But there was cliches all over the gaff.
Yeah, it was.
I was just a little bit like. Oof.
On that note, with the reveal of him, that was actually like I mean, for what they're trying to do, that was achieved really well because they really didn't focus that cop much. He was random cop in the van.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
With no and shot, it didn't look like he was gonna like. They cut to him and showed you reactions over there, but it was literally just. Even I suppose the name tag bit was a giveaway that should have been a giveaway, but at the time it wasn't.
Yeah.
And so when they revealed it was him, and then you see the hearing aid and stuff like that, you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I just feel like I was. Usually they mess that up. Usually they give it away before we see it
I must admit, from an acting point of view, and this is just me being nitpicky.
I mean, you should be, yeah.
I've sometimes British actors who themselves have an accent, such as Stephen Graham, who is, as we know, is
Scouse.
A northern actor.
Yeah.
You can I can tell when when they do an American accent, I can almost hear, and I found it very distracting.
Yeah, same.
Like Tom Hardy's American accent is much more natural.
Yeah.
Whereas,
except when he says in the first one, almost every time he says "Anne," it literally he says "Anne" and not. All the Americans.
Anne.
It's not Anne. Every time he says screams Anne, it sounds like a man saying it in a British accent. Listen.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, it's just a little nitpicky thing, and I'm sure most people won't notice it.
I have to agree. Like when I first heard him, speak a line of dialogue, I was like, I don't think this is particularly his best. Work.
The Scouse accent is so thick and strong,
thick,
and to then try and do, I presume he was doing. I think he was doing a New York accent, even though it's supposed to be set in San Francisco.
Yeah,
it was just like a New York accent on top of a Scouse accent.
Oof.
In a film set in San Francisco.
That's a mix, isn't it?
At least Eddie is doing a New York accent because we know from the first one he was from New York.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Stephen Graham's an incredible actor.
Oh, obviously.
So
not taking away from anything he's ever done.
No.
But this I feel was just like
it's just a tiny little
not quite on form.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
Not ruining it by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah. I mean, and that's another thing is obviously with Andy Serkis directing it, who I'm sure you'll know, listeners, was Gollum and Kong, and has directed The Jungle Book and others.
No, Jungle Book was Favreau.
Yeah, but he did another version,
that one. Yes, he did. Yes,
there was a couple. There was a couple at the same time, weren't there?
Yeah, they released about 17 live action adaptations of Jungle Book.
Yeah.
All at the
the
same
Netflix
year.
one. The Netflix one is very rare.
But it had a really good British cast. I just really appreciate
I feel like when I was watching it, and like you said, there was quite a lot of British cast members in it. I feel like they must have done a lot of filming in this country,
in the UK.
Other than the shots of, whether I don't know whether they really did too much actual shooting in San Francisco for
There was
this.
a couple of shots of the bridge.
Well, how much of that could just be stock footage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no. Honestly, it was a lot of the San Francisco shots could have been stock footage.
Yeah.
The rest of the way where it was shot, it could have been
could have been on soundstage, so it could have been here in the UK. I think it was because one of the oddest inclusions was the woman on the toilet, who is she's in Green Wing.
The woman on the toilet.
Yeah, when she
when he's at the beginning, when he's the cops telling him to go see Cassidy, and he goes and has that conversation with Venom in the toilet.
Oh,
that was brilliant.
Who was the woman?
She's someone from. It's not Missy. That wasn't her, was it?
No. Sally Phillips.
Oh, she's from.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, what? She was in she's in Smack the Pony. That
Yep.
Yeah, and she's in Bridget Jones. Yeah, I know Sally Phillips. I didn't recognise her.
Mental.
Oh, definitely had filmed in the UK.
Yeah, I know.
Without a doubt. They obviously used a UK-based casting agency.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. But no.
Well, Andy Serkis.
I was going to say either that or Andy Serkis was literally just like, I'm hiring all British.
Sal,
right?
Sal, got a job for you. You're a cameo. You're in a toilet. Come on down.
Don't worry, don't have to do any mocap. I'm doing it all.
Yeah. I'm doing everything. No, she's like, so we're going to be filming in an actual toilet then? Nah, I'm going to green screen it, aren't I?
I'm going to play the toilet stall and the toilet.
That's what I do, Sal.
You just got to sit on my lap.
I'm going to be the toilet. I'm going to be the stall. I'll probably be Venom in it as well. So
he will, yeah. He can't. No, I love Andy so.
Yeah,
he's so good.
If there's anyone who deserves an Oscar and hasn't won one, it's
Andy Serkis.
It's 100% him.
100%. Yeah,
he's fucking brilliant, and he's an all right director.
Did he direct the first one?
No, he didn't.
He directed this one. Okay,
it wasn't badly directed. It was. I mean, you said it might have had some editing issues, some weird.
Cuts.
There might have been. As you said about the scenes, felt like they were just they'd gone from A to B.
Yes.
So maybe that was an editing flaw.
Maybe either that, or maybe I feel like it was chopped to bits. I feel like So one example, again, getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but was how Screech and Carnage knew where Anne lived.
Ah.
Yeah, how did that?
Because it went from her looking at a picture of Anne that says "Love Anne," and then genuinely the next scene. It's not like there was a scene in the middle to break it up. It was the next scene, and she turns up at her gaff.
Yeah. On that, what? Now you two are more knowledgeable with regards to sort of the world of comic books and all that, but I don't know with the post credit scene. That might answer my question, but in the sort of Spider-Man, Venom universe, comic book universe, if you will, the superhero supervillains, they get their powers by some sort of incident or accident, right? Like a radioactive spider bite or an alien symbiote, and that it's not like in X-Men where they're mutants and they evolve and the powers evolve naturally, but her character seemed to just have this power,
and she also says
without any explanation.
She also says that her mutation is getting worse.
Yeah, so it's like,
and she's going to a place where there's others like her.
Yeah, I when they
Very
said that,
X-Men.
I thought, is it going to be the
They're
fucking
introducing X-Men.
Xavier Mansion?
I've got to go somewhere where.
Oh, it was going to be a horrible place.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was going to say, like,
where was
I'm
the
going to somewhere.
explanation
I go to somewhere with people like me,
Like Rikers
and then
Island.
all you hear is just like.
Like Rikers. It's going where Rikers was.
Hello, Screech. My name is Professor Charles Xavier. You just hear the squeaking of the wheelchair. Squeak, squeak, squeak.
No, it sounded like she was going more to where Stryker was.
For me, that opened up a whole,
Yeah.
can of worms.
They're
Of
playing with
questions.
mutants.
We're like, so can people in the Spider-Man universe develop powers now?
I mean, yeah, because they're in the same universe as X-Men.
Yeah, but not in the films, though.
No, not in the films.
So-
They've introduced mutants. That's what they've done.
Genuinely with this,
They
'cause
introduced
there's no
mutants.
explanation of
They
her powers
said
whatsoever.
mutation.
No,
They called it mutation. They
Yeah.
didn't even say, they didn't just call. They could have literally just palmed it off as powers. They said the word mutation. They're getting worse, and she's going to somewhere where there's other people. Ravencroft. I don't know what Ravencroft is. I recognise it. It is something Marvel, but I don't. It might be even a mutant place, but they've introduced mutants. Exactly what they've done. But I'm convinced. The thing with Screech, though, I think Screech is a symbiote.
I know why you think that, because of what happened at the end.
No.
Okay.
No, I mean,
'Cause I thought that.
I've looked up
At
where
the
this
end.
has come out and all that. There's loads of symbiotes, and I've looked up them, and I'm pretty sure one
So
is
it's
called
not
Screech,
an
like
actual
yellow.
power.
and
Sorry,
red.
she's called Shriek.
Shriek. So yeah, Shriek's a
Yeah, she's
I'm
not.
pretty sure
she's
Shriek's
not the
a
goofy
symbiote.
guy from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
which we've been calling her so far.
Yeah, I'm pretty
he
sure
passed
Shriek.
away, didn't he? That
Pretty
guy?
sure Shriek is
Shriek.
is another symbiote.
Right.
Yeah.
She-
But not in this.
Not in this. It's a mutant in this.
Right, she just have this random power from birth.
They've introduced mutants. They decided to introduce mutants. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Like,
I feel like there could have been a better way.
it's really
to
too.
explain this.
It's almost too subtle.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's too subtle. That should have been a massive reveal.
Yeah.
Because then would is this some sort of hint?
Yeah,
that the X-Men are coming.
But then the end bit kind of cancelled that out anyway.
Exactly. Because
so it's very odd.
It confirms it to be a part of something else, which is not to do with the X-Men. So that for me that sort of
and the cop
it kind of took me out of it a bit, because I just thought, well, so there is endless possibilities now in these films.
Yeah.
The whole unique thing about Venom was that, he's an alien symbiote.
It was the normal world, and then alien symbiotes have come.
Yeah,
down.
but now it's like, any old human being can just be born with super powers now.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
and also it just happened to be that this serial
film's
killer,
villain's girlfriend.
Yeah, I know, right? It was like, so the guy who knew someone with special abilities, special powers, he's the one who then also becomes a supervillain.
Yeah.
It just kind of didn't check out for
She
me.
didn't need superpowers for her story.
Genuinely didn't.
Yeah.
She just has to be another.
She could have just been
kid.
evil.
They took her away. They were moving her to a different facility for just random reasons. She attacked the cop.
Yeah. I know this sounds harsh, but
I know she has to be off grid.
I thought
they
could have just cut that whole subplot out. The plot of the film could have just been Cletus. He gets the power. He becomes Carnage. He goes on a fucking rampage, and that's his motivation is, he says in the first film, when I get out of here, there is going to be carnage.
Yeah.
He just wants to cause chaos
and
more killing.
And he could. And the reason he goes after Eddie, that betrayal could still happen.
Didn't need it. I mean,
because at the beginning
of it, really need her. And then even again we're jumping it, but at the end, the big finale at the end, she almost got sort of brushed aside, like, we don't know what to do with your character now, so we'll just
have you fight
the cop for a bit, and then just get strangled and thrown away. I was like, get out of the way, we want to get on with the fight.
Honestly, there isn't a definitive end to her story, because I know it's presumed that she was strangled by Carnage.
Yeah. And then no, she was alive after that though.
Yeah, but also she, it as a death, if it was going to be a death, was like, it was like Blofeld in No Time to Die.
Yeah,
it was like so blasé, and there was like no audible cue. There was
unsatisfying death, wasn't it?
So unsatisfying. I know she is alive.
No. A bell technically fell on her, so it depends if she tucked into a ball,
Alec Trevelyan style.
Yeah,
when the satellite falls on
if she tucked into a ball, I guess she could have lived.
Well, but maybe. I mean, she's got magical powers, so she could probably just teleport or something. Fuck it.
You only get one power.
Fuck it.
Yeah, it was a bit.
That's what, and he was like, do you know what? I want to have a bird who's got magical powers in this film. Know me. Yeah, I've got a role for you. Yeah. Come on down. Now, don't worry about that. You're going to have a power. Yeah. You're a screamer. Yeah, you're a screamer, aren't you, love? Yeah, I know you are.
Yeah, you're playing Shrek. I mean, Shriek.
I mean, Screech. No, not Saved by the Bell, you daft man.
No, don't worry. I'll do the mocap. It's all right.
I'm doing the green screen work. No, you're just there for a pretty face, darling.
She was a bit wasted in this film, I think.
Yeah.
Especially when she's supposed to be a symbiote.
She was.
They've just had one of the symbiotes without even having a symbiote in a symbiote movie.
Yeah. It was odd. It was odd, and her inclusion was odd because she's not in any of the trailers. And I didn't even
genuinely.
know
I think she's
in the film.
She's in like one shot in one trailer. And then when I saw that she was in the film, like prior, I was like, so is she playing like a super secret character? No, not playing a secret character at all. Just playing Woody Harrelson's, girlfriend.
Yeah,
but
who happens who got superpowers before any of the other characters in these movies
in the 90s.
Yeah,
so before. Well, I mean,
for all of them,
before anything. I mean, when Iron Man is set in the year it was made, right?
So at this point,
2008.
That's a different universe.
Yeah, at this point.
So this is a world that was very much a normal world, and then a normal world where they'd been to space a little bit more.
Yeah, so it's even more.
Space travel was a bit
random.
more. Basically, space travel was a bit more advanced because of the scientist from the first one.
Yeah,
they had a genius that invented the thing, but it's effectively this world. And then these symbiotes come into it and they make it a bit more supernatural. Now they've kind of almost retconned a bit and a bit like, oh, but there were mutants the whole time.
Yeah.
But they were all locked away.
Another thing as well is the whole like Carnage being born out of from as a result of Cletus biting Eddie. That whole thing again, that also kind of confused me a bit because in the first film, the whole thing was with the baddie and the villain Riot.
Yeah.
Was that it was another separate symbiote, separate alien from Venom's planet, and when he came down, it was like he was, oh no, this is Riot. He's a bad one, kind of thing.
Yeah, he's our leader. Yeah, he can
Whereas
do shit that
in this film, Carnage was created just from Cletus, biting Eddie's finger.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking right. So again, that opens up a whole barrel, like a can of worms of questions for me, because now it's like, right, so if anyone bites
or gets in contact with
Eddie,
Eddie's blood,
they can just become can become a
red
new
one.
symbiote.
Yeah, literally
a red one.
But that takes away the whole thing from the first film of Riot being, he also came to Earth and crash landed, and he was also there. So again, it takes away that sort of uniqueness about it.
They could have had. We know that there's a meteor out there with others on it.
Yeah.
They could have had, for whatever reason, and I would have happily accepted it. I mean, Carnage is supposed to be a spawn of Venom. That is a thing. That's why. That's why I was a bit disappointed in this. He called him father, and obviously there was that joke. But Carnage always calls, or Cletus always calls Brock Daddy, in a really sinister way. Kind of like refers to him as Dad and Daddy, because Carnage comes directly from Venom. Literally, the Venom spawned Carnage. So that is kind of right.
Yeah.
The way they did it, though, yeah, I agree. Like, it just means, does anyone come into contact with Eddie's blood, because as we said, it's not blood now, is a symbiote?
Yeah,
literally.
Or did the injections and him dying trigger the symbiote? But although you saw
another thing that isn't really kind of explained even slightly.
Because even Venom, I feel like there's more to that. Like, as much as a good line, Venom goes, "Oh no, it's a red one." So
he's encountered them before.
What does that mean?
Ones, but
does that mean, what are the red ones? Is that what red ones are? As soon as if a symbiote bleeds and something, and then another host comes into contact with their blood, does that create a red one?
Again, it would have been better if Carnage had, had somehow
just been a separate symbiote.
And then had like fused with Cletus in another scenario. Maybe while Cletus is on his serial killer killing spree, he could have come across Carnage accidentally, and then.
Or even the first one establishes. I got the impression from the first one anyway that the symbiotes can sense their perfect matches, because doesn't Riot go searching for the scientist?
Right, yeah. So that would have made sense.
I think Venom says he chose Eddie.
Yeah.
He went
so,
looking
and if
for
Cletus
Eddie.
is supposed to be this like prolific serial killer,
if Carnage had crashed into Earth,
it would make sense that he
could just go into the prison.
Yeah.
That would have been a lot better.
Yeah, and he's like searching. He's like, oh, this is where they keep all the bad ones, and he's searching for, oh, this one smells the most evil, and something like that, something goofy like that.
Yeah. Just a similar. I mean, I wouldn't do shot for shot the same sort of thing, but a similar journey Riot had, just going through different people.
Yeah,
be quite cool. But maybe and in direct comparison to Riot, make it very clear that as much as Riot went through killing people, he kind of killed some people, jumped in a house, and then stayed in a house and didn't really kill anyone, didn't it? You could literally just have
Carnage killing everyone.
Carnage doing something like he did with the truck in this, where they're driving along saying that's a good deal, and then randomly just grabs the truck and throws it off. Because I liked that, because it was like, this thing fucking just wants to just kill things for the sake of it.
Yeah.
So you could have had it like travel through to different hosts, and then the hosts just kill people while they're going along. Yeah, no, and then it gets to Cletus. Yeah,
I mean,
I like the Cletus on a
plot-wise. It was a bit.
They relied a lot.
Hollow.
They relied a lot on knowing about the comic books. I will give that. I was able to appreciate little things in it, but and I like that to an extent, but yeah, they relied a little bit too much on it. That people that haven't seen it are just not gonna get some things as well. There was something in particular, but yeah, there was a few plot holes and stuff. I did enjoy it overall, but there's a few. It jumped, like I said, it jumps at times. I think maybe they chopped it up too much. If they made it too short.
Yeah.
Were there complaints about the first one being too long?
I don't think there was.
No. Well, Liam hated it.
Liam hated it. Did you think it was too
I
long? Is that why you hated it?
All right, that's why I hated it. Okay, right. Time is precious to me. So when it's wasted like the first Venom film did to my precious time, that was it.
Absolutely outrageous.
No,
Disgusting.
So halfway through the film, we have the breakup of Eddie and Venom.
Venom, yeah.
Which, I mean, is kind of inevitable in this kind of situation.
Yeah.
I didn't. From what I got from the first film, I wasn't aware that he'd be able to leave the body so easily.
No, I didn't think that either.
I was just like, right, okay, so it's just up to Venom, is it? Like,
to an didn't he set the alarm off?
No, but literally, yeah, only for like a second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I think it is very. I think the idea is Venom. No, well, yeah, we know from Riot he can just leave whenever he wants.
Right, yeah,
but he doesn't because Eddie's the only one he can survive off of properly.
Got you.
Whereas everyone else he burns out.
But
the idea is he's just had such a.
But in my favourite scene, the nightclub scene, where Venom, gets his boogie on, which is what you want to see.
Venom 2 Electric Boogaloo.
From a Venom film.
It literally is Venom 2 Electric Boogaloo.
He seems fine. Like he's not like he's like dying because.
No, because Venom's the symbiote is fine.
Yeah.
For a while.
But the host dies. So as long as he goes from one host to another, which he was
like
doing,
we see with the random he picks up.
Yeah.
And then he falls over in the convenience store, doesn't he? Because the body's dying.
Yeah.
But whilst he's living in it and the host is okay for that short period of time, he's fine.
Basically, it was happening to Eddie in the first one. If Venom isn't feeding and eating, he's eating the host, and that's what he was doing to Eddie in the first one before they agreed to live like coherently. That's why he says he says in the first one that we need to go we better get some head soon because your pancreas is looking really good. Like he's gonna he'll just start eating you. And that's what he was doing in the first one. But yeah. So one thing I was thinking about this though. So I'd love to. I don't know. If they would express though. I love the idea that Mrs. Chang is also like a perfect host for him, but because of how much time he spends on Anne and her, you could just argue he just didn't spend a lot of time on them to deteriorate them because he's only on them for a short time. But they could be. I feel like he could spend some time on Anne or Mrs. Is it Mrs. Cho?
Mrs. Chan. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
But yeah, her. Yeah, he. Yeah, I'd like to see if he could have just spent all of his time because he seemed pretty comfortable on her for a little bit. But yeah, I think it was just the whole dude stubborn. The idea was he was just going to go, but even that it's like he just goes through killing people, and it's just sort of like, well, the Venom would because he's not a hero. He wants to save people, but at the same time he'll burn through them if he needs to.
And have a dance.
It's a very fickle moral compass. Won't kill some chickens, but bite people's heads off.
Got time to boogie though.
Yeah. He's got time to
boogie.
Venom 2, Time to Boogie.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe in Venom 3 they'll introduce a daughter for Venom that he didn't know about, a long lost daughter.
They just showed a son,
and like he goes around with like a rabbit called Boo Boo.
He had two chickens, Sonny and Cher. Yeah. The two things you've just taken.
Was it Doo-Doo?
Yeah,
literally. Oh, sorry, sorry, my apologies.
The two things you just took the piss out of, they did in this movie. He's got a son, Carnage.
Oh yeah.
And he had two chickens, Sonny and Cher.
Oh yeah.
He had the bunny and the daughter.
This time, Venom's got a son.
This
Carnage.
And he's about to find out being a dad's not all it cooked up to be.
Changing diapers is difficult when your son is a monster. Yeah. No, I don't. I'm being harsh. I did enjoy it. It was good old. In my eyes, it was good old fashioned, harmless comic book fun.
Yeah.
it wasn't trying to be like pretentious or put out a message or trying to be clever or groundbreaking.
Yeah.
You know, like certain other filmmakers take on superhero films. Christopher Nolan. It was just being a good old fashioned early noughties theme. I felt it had that feel of the like the one and only Spider-Man trilogy. It had that kind of feel, just innocent comic book action.
Yeah.
No sort of let's overload it with all this other crap.
Yeah. You got a hero, you got a villain. The hero is some sort of journey in a thing.
Yeah. You got a love interest.
Villain's just this monster. Even though the hero's a monster in this as well. So you got the love interest, but he doesn't actually get the girl. Yeah. I liked it. It was simple. I like the simplicity. I did like the simplicity of it. To be fair, it was good. And so what were your guys' opinions on the CGI? I thought it was well done.
See, I don't think it was as good as the first one.
You don't think it was as good as the first one?
I feel like the style of Venom is very frantic at best, you know, especially in the fight scenes, especially the one at the end.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a little bit hard to kind of decipher what's going on.
Yeah, because just the nature. But
of it, I feel like the actual like close-up shots of Venom, I don't think they were bad by any stretch. No, but I feel like they just weren't as good as the first one.
Yeah, I can't.
Maybe that's just me, but I thought again it's not too noticeable. You're not going to be watching it and be thinking not as good as the first one is. I feel like it's just my eye, and just the certain shots that they had in the first one, they were just like really cinematic.
Fair
enough. I think that's just me, but nothing.
Maybe it was
because
they had more Venom in this, and like a bit, there was a lot more symbiote in this.
Oh yeah,
because even in this first one, they hold back Riot quite well. They let you see Riot a couple of times, and then the last fight.
I don't remember in the first film there being like loads of like bits sticking out their backs and.
I mean, they can always do it.
I think that's mainly
a Carnage thing, though.
Yeah, that's mainly Carnage's style in the comics is basically like symbiote, but with like more tentacles.
Yeah, it looks like it's more like even more grotesque than Venom sort of thing. Venom's smooth and like has the big tongue and mouth, but he's very smooth. Whereas Carnage literally looks like veins and things like that. So it's kind of like from there, and he does have tendrils and stuff. They've all got the tendrils, to be fair. Like Riot does it in the first one, and like you see Venom do it, but it's just the idea. Yeah, he's got a few more with it with the Doc Ock squiddy. He literally has squiddy arms. Yeah, but I just I was gonna say like you, like I think we're like I agree with like the negative points of it, but I did enjoy it. I wasn't sitting there like, oh, this is all. I was really enjoying it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too.
It was funny when it was needed. I was laughing when it wanted to be funny. The action was good. I enjoyed the fight. I preferred this fight to the Riot and Venom fight though.
Right.
So as I say, I understand what you said. It took a bit of hit with the CGI, but it was still good. I preferred this fight in the church. I felt like I could follow the fight a little bit better anyway. I feel like the human on human bits were a little bit better too.
Yeah.
I like how they were transitioned a bit more.
I mean, I do agree with you with regards to the fight was cleaner in this film and easier to follow.
Yeah.
But too many characters in the church at the end.
Yeah.
Didn't need Dan. We didn't need Screech from Saved by the Bell, whatever her name was. Didn't need the detective combo from This Is England. Anna obviously had to be there because she's the damsel in distress.
I could forgive Dan for his role in it.
Yeah,
he literally did turn the tide of the battle at one
much
point.
Stuff going on.
But yeah, there was too many.
Just want to see Venom and Carnage going at each other for 10-15 minutes.
Yeah,
solid fighting.
Yeah,
you know.
I don't. My favorite part. I think one of my favorite parts of the film was, and it's where trailers spoil things, because it would have been brilliant to see it for the first time, but I'd already seen it like 3 or 4 times with the trailer. That bit where Carnage goes off and he just goes, "Oh shit!" and just like completely like
shuts down,
goes back into thing.
Yes,
but it was a bit long. I liked that whole interaction where he's like literally like he's like calling him over and he's like, "Yeah, we gotta go fight now," and he's like, "No, wait, it's a red one, nope." Or like, time to die. I love that. So it's like,
Nice
no,
little-
we are gonna die.
Nice little cameo from Reese Shearsmith from
Yeah.
League of Gentlemen.
I remember I turned to you and just went,
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Which bit?
So the priest in it is a famous British actor.
Is he
comedy
British too?
actor.
he's part
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the League of Gentlemen,
Yeah,
along with
Oh.
Mark Gatiss and Steve Pemberton.
yeah.
And Jeremy Dyson, who's
Yes.
the fourth member who no
Yeah.
one knows
He's
about.
the other
Does
one.
inside number 9.
Inside number 9, yeah, with Steve Pemberton.
Yes, I think I know which one. Obviously, I know
Yeah.
the main two. Yeah, yeah, that was good. That was a cool little bit.
So again,
Instantly recognisable.
Another British actor who
Yeah.
Andy's gone. You got Reese. How are you old bastard? Yeah, got a role for you. Yeah, no, cowardly vicar. Yeah, no. Can you do an American accent? Ah, well, it don't
don't
matter.
worry about it, yeah.
Stephen can't do one either. I'm only joking, Stephen, you fucking idiot. So yeah, that's how I imagine Andy Serkis
Talks to his potential actor.
It's just even if he hasn't actually met them before
Yeah.
or knows them, he's just like, hey,
He
Reese,
talks
you
really
slag.
familiar, really
Get
familiar.
over in there.
Reese, you slag.
He goes full Cockney as well because he's Cockney, but he's not like. He
I
goes
don't think
full-
he
I
is.
don't think
I'm
he
just
is.
making
No,
that
he is
up.
Cockney. No.
No.
Well, I think I think he might be from London, but I think he's well spoken.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
is he?
alright.
He's not full on Cockney.
Oh,
I think he
okay.
just plays a lot of Cockneys in his
Oh,
films.
okay.
doesn't he? But
But yeah.
that's just how I like.
But
to
that's how he
imagine
recruits. He puts
does
on his
it,
fresh Cockney accent. We know he can do voices. Talks are really familiar. And they kind of go, "Do I know him?"
Right now, speaking of now, this might be a bit controversial to some of our female listeners.
Oh, God.
Okay.
But what do we think of Tom Hardy?
Oh, okay.
Well, this is controversial because we're all in
This
agreement.
won't
but
just.
but we're
be
all in
females.
we're all in agreement. But the complete opposite end of the spectrum to most other people.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not just females. Everyone loves Tom Hardy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say
he's good.
you're,
He is
you're
absolutely.
right.
You can't deny he's not a good actor. He is a good actor.
I think he is a good actor,
But
but
I'm seeing far too much Tom Hardy.
I think
Bit overrated.
he's overrated.
He's a little bit overrated. He's a
and
little
that's,
bit
I
overrated.
don't think that's. I don't actually think that's due to him.
No.
I don't blame Tom.
No.
If you're listening, Tom, I don't blame you,
Well,
you
he is.
slag.
That's right.
But I'm not saying because he is a good actor.
Tom, it's Andy. You
But
slag.
I think everyone else blows how amazing he is.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
puts him in everything.
He's maybe not overrated. I think he's just overhyped.
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 Yeah.
Overhyped.
You're right.
That's
He's
it,
overhyped.
yeah.
I mean, and he does. Again, from an acting point of view, he's very much a character actor,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah.
A lot of great actors are character actors.
Yeah. I quite like her.
But but I've noticed Tom Hardy's one of these character actors who he just sort of does a different accent, but he's still
Similar
just Tom Hardy.
body
but
language,
with
yeah.
like we were saying in Locke, he's just Tom Hardy with a Welsh accent.
Genuinely is Tom Hardy.
In
a Welsh accent.
a lot of other films, he's Tom Hardy with an American accent.
In Rock and
in
Roller,
Dunkirk,
he's
he's
Tom Hardy, yeah.
with an posh RP English accent.
Yeah.
So whereas, and again, this is going to be controversial, but I'm #Team Johnny. But Johnny Depp, who is another character actor,
Yeah.
right? Who often plays
Yeah.
non sort of unrealistic.
yeah.
He, on the other hand, will really immerse himself
Yeah.
in the character, and it won't just be he does a different accent. He will be like he'll physically transform.
different-
he'll
yeah,
have a
yeah,
different voice, a different personality,
Yeah.
a different look. It's all different every film.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
He's
if
a
you
comedian.
compare, say one of his earliest roles, Tom Hardy, as Eames in Inception. I knew this would get
Even
get,
earlier.
get
Oh,
your,
here we
I knew this
go.
would get your goat. But like, compare Eames to Eddie Brock. It's the same guy. It's just a different accent.
yeah.
Even earlier, Rock
Yeah.
and Roller. He's
Yeah.
good. He's good. He's
And you know what? He's all right. Like
Pretty George or something like
he's
that.
in. He plays a very small role in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, but he's quite good in that.
I like it.
And in that, he's just playing an
1970s Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
So Tom Hardy with a 1970s haircut.
So
This is Tom Hardy down on his luck.
Do you know what? This is this is my my geekiness coming through here. But as a Trekkie, one of my favourite Tom Hardy performances was in Star Trek Nemesis.
Insurrection.
Nemesis.
Nemesis. Yeah.
And he played Shinzon, the villain, who is sorry, I'm going off on a tangent now, but
No,
he's a clone of Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
He's a clone of a younger Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah, I remember.
And he's brilliant in
Absolutely brilliant. That's probably the earliest role.
He's absolutely brilliant in that.
Choose the scenery a bit, though, doesn't he?
Well, I don't think he does. I think he's quite he maybe tries too hard, but that was supposed to be his big break. I don't know if you've ever read this story, but apparently because Star Trek Nemesis flopped and was like critically panned, Tom Hardy got really depressed and he considered giving up acting after that. It's a good job he didn't, because he's made some great films.
And there is it's a gap between that and before we really saw him
exactly.
again.
But he was great in that. I think he was really great in that. But in that, he's not just it's a transformation.
Yeah.
He's not just doing an accent. He's really I think go back and watch it. I think that's one of his best performances.
Yeah.
That and Bronson.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, Bronson. Yeah.
Which is another
his best
transformation.
performance, I think.
That's what he actually.
It's I think maybe Bronson was such a out of the blue hit, and I think if you weren't a geeky Trekkie like me, I don't think a lot of people knew Tom Hardy was before Bronson. And then
I think that's it. That was
oh wow, this guy's amazing, Tom Hardy. Wow.
I remember finding out that it was him in Nemesis, because obviously saw Nemesis as a kid.
Yeah.
Thinking back on I can't even picture it as, even now, I can't picture it as Tom Hardy.
It looks
obviously
so
young.
Yeah. He's really skinny. He's got a bald, shaved head. But he looks complete. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a transformation. No, I don't. So I like him as an actor. So I initially wasn't a fan of him in this, but then when I watched Venom again, on the first one, my rewatch, I actually quite like him as Eddie Brock, even though this is a very different Eddie Brock to, much like Venom, they've kind of done their own thing with Eddie Brock a little bit as well. It's a lot more of a good guy, Eddie Brock, to be honest. But,
the character is so far gone from any other variation.
Yeah,
that they have steered into the. I know he's supposed to be an anti-hero,
and he's the focus, so he has to be maybe a little bit.
So they've steered into the conflicts there between Eddie Brock and Venom, but it's not the fact that they're doing evil stuff.
Yeah,
they're really just it really gets to the point early on in in between the two films where you're like, well, there's no question that he's a good guy. Whereas in comics and in other media, it's like he's a villain, and sometimes he has not a bit of a change of heart, but he might go and do something that's good, but it's probably not in the best way. And in this, it's just that is a superhero.
It's very much in the comic books. The main portion of the time with Venom is he has a moral compass, so he won't kill good people generally, but him and Eddie will go and kill people. Then they'll just do it. There's no conflict in oh no, we can't do it. It's very much. They just take shit into their own hands. He's got power now. He hates Spider-Man, so he always wants to kill Spider-Man. Eddie Brock and Ed Venom want to kill Spider-Man. And they agree on that for different reasons. But he's a bit of a sleazeball investigative reporter as well. There's Topher
Grace's
exactly.
That's 3. He's very sleazeball.
Ironically, the more accurate.
I was just going to say, there's only one Venom, mate. His name's Topher Grace. Yeah.
And it ain't him.
No, I'm only joking. No, Tom Hardy's. I think he's quite good.
He does.
And I think he's a good fit for this version of Eddie Brock.
Yeah, absolutely.
And these films.
Yeah.
We touched upon it already, but the final fight is a bit of a mishmash. Like we said, maybe too many characters.
Yeah. Better just Venom and Carnage.
But what did we think of the actual action? Because it's probably one of the only big bits of action in it, really, that include Venom.
Yeah. There's only one fight between the two of them.
Yeah.
Carnage has a few scenes where he's tearing shit up. That's pretty good. I like those. So we're saying action overall, or just the action in the?
Just the action in the final fight.
I liked it. I thought it was a lot more clean. Like Harry said, it's a lot cleaner than the fight between Riot and Eddie. I know it was supposed to be he's Venom's met another symbiote that's more stronger than him and able to do things he can't do, like make knives and stuff. Apparently, can't do that. But it didn't. Riot just feel like he was just throwing him around, and then suddenly Venom won. Whereas this one felt more like Venom was being thrown around, got beaten a few times, and literally to the point, like it was like he had to pick himself up and really go for it, and then take opportune moments. But I preferred it.
I stand by what I said. I thought it was a cleaner fight than the Riot fight from 1. But having said that, I think, as I've said, I would have liked it to have been simpler in terms of it just being them two.
Yeah.
Too many other characters too many other things going on.
I didn't even care when they were jumping to Francis and the cop.
Exactly.
I don't know why.
Exactly. And also, I would have liked it to have been longer. I thought it was a very quick, short fight.
Yeah.
I just wanted maybe about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
How long was the fight? A few minutes? 3 or 4 minutes?
I reckon it was nearer 8 minutes.
Yeah.
But like that's not very
long.
long.
That includes all the cut scenes to other things going on.
Yeah.
I would have just liked a nice 10-minute fight of just them two going at it,
smashing
up the church
and beyond,
outside,
really kind of tearing it up,
just going at it, at each other.
You've got this is the one movie where you can do the Superman damage, because these effectively, obviously Eddie does, but Venom don't give a shit. Venom will smash shit up while he's fighting and stuff, gets angry. But I wish it'd been a little bit longer. But I did enjoy what there was of it. I think it was a good fight. It was good. I like that kind of we saw like this, like it was cool to see Venom go right down to like the brink of like just fucked, and then just keep going, sort of like that. And and obviously it brought them together. That was a nice little story up within the fight. But no, I enjoyed. I definitely preferred this fight to the Riot and Thingy one.
What did you think, Liam?
I agree. Like it's better. I think this is a better fight than the one in the first. But yeah, I think it could have had more to it. It could have been longer. The hype from the trailers from this movie. Obviously, in the trailers, you see some of the shots where they are in the church. You see the little bit of back and forth between Eddie and Venom, but then nothing else kind of spectacular is there. Nothing that we didn't really see in that trailer.
Yeah,
cool shots kind of transpired.
Yeah,
it was all just kind of stuff we'd seen in the trailer.
Yeah,
which is obviously a big problem these days.
Yeah,
but, I stand by it. Like you said, it's better than the first one. The fight, I think, just edges it. But yeah, what do you think What do you think in this movie that they improved on over the first?
I would. I don't know. I don't know if they would. Anything they actually amped up.
That hard? It's also not a trick question. Not that makes me sound like a teacher, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like I've asked you a question in class.
Can I go to the toilet, please?
No.
Mr. Redick. Sorry.
Miss, my Willie's doing that thing again.
What?
I don't think they did.
You don't think they improved anything?
It was it was
That's
it was on par. It was on par.
Just on par,
Yeah.
was it? Yeah, okay.
I don't think anything was improved.
But nothing was really improved. Was it just a continuation of the story?
It was a continuation of the story. That's what it felt like. It felt like an extension.
I thought Cletus.
Okay, sorry.
Was a better villain than Riz Ahmed's character, whose name I can't even remember. So
that's one thing.
That was one thing.
Yeah, okay.
However, I prefer the Riot and the creation of Riot from the first film
to the creation of
how Carnage comes about in this film. It seems a bit.
They just skip over how it happened.
Yeah,
not how it happens, but the kind of. Just a little bit of information on
Yeah, I was going to say, usually we get the information of sort of how.
You could have just had Venom have a line about how it worked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Or Carnage.
Apparently, Boromir doesn't agree. Did you have a different opinion?
How do you see it? Or even Carnage. Carnage could have explained it once it happened. So something like that, because once he's in his head and
even Carnage could have just said a throwaway line. That's all you need. You just need one or two lines.
Yeah.
I know I'm usually a show don't tell kind of guy, but with little bits of information like that, you just need to have it covered.
Yeah.
Just to make it make a little bit more sense.
Yeah. Because you can't even put down to comic book knowledge because it was a different creation.
Yeah.
Okay, I've thought of one. As Sam said, I think I agree. I don't really think this film improved on the first film. I think it just continued the story. It was on
took the ball and ran with it.
Yeah, it felt like which is all I was expecting to. That's all I wanted.
But one thing I did think was better was and I'm not saying we should get onto it now. Was this film had a much more epic post-credit scene.
Well,
yeah.
Than the first film's one.
I mean, we can get onto it now because
the first one. I mean, the first film's one.
It was like, it's epic.
It was like it's Woody Harrelson. For people like me who haven't read like the comics, don't know who Carnage is.
Yeah, you just saw
that post-credit scene from one was a bit like, okay, it's Woody Harrelson, so he's going to be the baddie in the next film.
Yeah.
Cool. That could be potentially quite good
compared to this one.
Whereas this one was like, we all looked at each other and went, oh shit.
Yeah.
So that was a big moment.
Yeah. That was the post-credit scene was absolutely.
Which doesn't say a lot for the film itself. The fact that the post-credit scene was the most improved thing.
Yeah.
But
and the villain. And I 100% agree with the villain itself. I prefer Cletus Cassidy as a villain anyway to that professor guy, whatever he was. He was alright. He was super sinister and he played it really well. He generally did play a good villain in that. Riot was a bit felt a little bit not shoehorned wouldn't be the right word, but it was just like, oh, by the way, there's this villain.
You're right.
His motivations are this, but they're also a Venom, so you already know it, and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, it was a bit like, he's their leader. Okay, cool. But the villain was improved. But the post-credit scene was absolutely an improvement. Like,
I think this is our first real taste of live-action multiverse happenings.
Yeah, we watched it happen.
Because in the post-credit scene, obviously, big fucking ball of energy. Changing, it did remind me of Into the Spider-Verse, the kind of the way things were like changing.
Yeah.
Where it was like it had like fragments of like loads of things like coming together, and
I wonder if they did take.
It was very much the same style.
Maybe they did
of that.
Take a note of it from that.
And then it's revealed that Eddie's been plopped into.
The
MCU, which is Universe 1999999999999, which also was the license plate of the truck that drove Screech / Shriek away. It was backwards.
Oh.
So like for some reason, and it's very odd to have a license plate that's all numbers, isn't it?
Yeah,
even in America. but this was the universe number of the universe he travelled into.
Yeah.
But I think backwards with like a 2 and a something. Little Easter egg.
What was a bit odd about that? One thing about that scene a bit odd now is what was the whole bit of what built to it that Venom didn't actually do in the first place, where Venom's trying to like tease that he's got 8 billion years of experience and stuff like that, because symbiotes I think of a hive mind anyway. But yeah, so they've got all this experience and stuff like that, like it'll show you just a fragment of it, and you thought you were going to get something like, oh, okay, this is going to be interesting, and then it's a complete swerve.
Yeah,
because he doesn't show him.
That is a bit odd
because he's going to show him this thing, and I think the idea is right before he was able to show him, the universe shattered. I don't think he made that happen.
No.
It was 2 unrelated events.
We know what made it happen. Harry doesn't, but
yeah. Okay.
How does Eddie Venom? How do they get transferred over? If it's a
that hasn't been explained yet, even to us.
Right.
So we know about the multiverse because of Doctor Strange movie and because something else we've watched.
But if
Loki.
They switch the if they, as we've seen from the trailer from Spider-Man, something to do with home.
Yeah.
The newest one, we know that Doctor Strange is gonna change the universe, but presumably
maybe
only
that was it. Yeah.
Him and Peter Parker. So how on earth has Eddie Brock ended up?
The only problem with that is the moment Eddie is come into is going to be a while before Strange cast that spell, because the moment he came into is the end of Far From Home.
That's right.
So
from
what we've just seen of No Way Home, that's a little while afterwards. That spell.
Yeah.
So
that's
it is
a good point.
It'll be something to do with.
You don't often make good points, Sam, but that is one.
It will somehow be something to do with Loki, with the multiverse thing, and then something else is happening.
Did Venom himself do it?
We'll just have to find out.
They kind of built
December.
it like it looked like Venom did do it, but he was like, shit, he doesn't know what's happened.
It wasn't me. Yeah.
He said it wasn't him. So
call me on the counter.
It is an odd
but it wasn't me.
Yeah.
Somebody banging on the sofa. Well, it wasn't me.
Transport us to another multiverse. Wasn't me.
Exactly.
We'll just have to find out in December, and when we go through all of the Spider-Man movies.
Spider-Man month,
December.
I am jacked. He's my favourite superhero.
Well, I mean, I don't know why we're even bothering, because there's only one Spider-Man, and his name's Tobey Maguire, and he cried like a baby when you played Cinderella. So,
pizza time.
Pizza time. Okay. Yes, I will be co-hosting the one and only Spider-Man trilogy podcast, aka the Sam Raimi verse. And then Joe will be co-hosting the Amazing Spider-Man verse, the aka the Web verse.
I don't know who did it. So Andrew Garfield,
John Webb verse or whatever.
Tom Webb, yeah.
And then Samwise will be co-hosting the MCU Spider-Verse. There's so many
and we'll do Into the Spider-Verse. I just haven't
Into the
quite
Spider-Verse will be in there somewhere.
And then obviously we were going to be doing a big old No Way Home.
Yeah, 3 of us.
Obviously, the main event.
Do one of these. It's the finale is going to be one of these.
Yeah.
3-person, just been cinema.
Yeah.
No Way Home.
Hopefully we'll have it out. I want to see it as soon as
and then we'll have the explanations we're asking for now with regards to this.
I feel like we're going to get some questions answered, but I feel like we're going to be left with a lot more questions as well because of what they're building towards.
Yeah. So I know we didn't touch too much on the first Venom film, but if you were to give the first Venom film out of 5.
Trying to hark back to the first Venom film what was...
He doesn't eat a cat in that movie, does he?
No.
He does get in the tank with the lobsters. That's like a funny well remembered moment.
Yeah, so out of 5 lobsters that have shared a lobster tank with Tom Hardy, how many would you give it
Abbreviated
out of 5?
to lobsters.
That's such an
Yeah,
elaborate one.
yeah. So if
That's probably our most elaborate
Yeah.
one yet.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so out of 5 lobsters. Let's go with Harry first on this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So for the first Venom film, I'm gonna give it 3.5 lobsters out of 5.
Right.
Yeah. That might seem quite generous for me, as I'm the harshest
Very generous
scorer. But listen, I enjoyed it. I liked the film. I like the character. It was, as we've touched on very briefly in previous podcasts, I like the more darker, different comic book films. Like some not very popular, which I don't understand, like Watchmen and.
Watchmen's great.
Watchmen's awesome, but you know what I mean. So I like and like the DC films. I think they're all right. I think Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice is quite good. But that's just me. I'm weird. I like.
It's for another day.
I like the weird films.
I'm gonna let the silence speak.
Yeah, I prefer DC to Marvel.
That's fine.
Anyway, but so no, I liked it. I thought it was good, and I do enjoy the first film. I think it's better than the second one. So I give it 3.5 lobsters.
What'd you give the first Venom film, Sam?
I'm gonna give it a solid 3.
Less than Harry.
Similar reasons for Harry. Like, I enjoyed it, absolutely enjoyed it. The reason I am not giving it any more than that is because I am purely comparing it to all other movies that I would rate. I'm thinking of what I would give other movies and their rating, and comparing it to that. It doesn't. There's others that I would maybe give a 4 that are better than this. So I'm like, it falls. The way I see 3 with this is it hits all its marks. It's good. It's not good. It's good. And I'm like, it does what it's supposed to do. It's not. It doesn't blow me away, but I do really enjoy the movie. And to be honest, I think it's going to be one of these movies that I'm going to enjoy more I watch by the sounds of it, because I liked it so much more the second time. We spoke to your mate tonight, and she said the same. That the more she watches it, the more she enjoys it. So I think I'm going to give it a 3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it. So I feel like Venom, the first Venom movie is pretty much like your box standard popcorn film.
Agreed.
So with that being said, a popcorn film is just something that you can just put on, and something you can just enjoy parts of it. You don't have to. Again, it's not going to blow you away. You just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
And what I'd say is probably the average, or just the standard for a popcorn film is probably a 2.5 for me.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it a 2.5.
You heard it here, folks. For the first time ever, Harry gave the highest rating,
highest
for a
score.
movie.
And that's not going to happen ever again. So
believe it.
Unless it's a DC film, by the sounds of it.
Unless it's Watchmen.
Watchmen.
Oh no, I don't know. Watchmen.
Well, wait till we get to it.
Yeah.
Sometime down the road. So, but for this particular film, Venom: Let There Be Carnage. Okay. Harry, what would you give it out of? Now, what would you give it? This one out of 5? What?
5. Venom getting his boogie on.
5 out of 5
glow sticks.
Yeah, out of 5 oversized glow stick necklaces.
Yes.
So all right, we'll do it out of 5 glow sticks.
Glow sticks, yeah.
I like oversized glow stick necklaces, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now this might seem complete contrary to my first score seeming very generous. This might seem a harsh score, but I'm giving Venom Let There Be Carnage 2.5 oversized glow sticks out of 5. I was going to give it a 3, but I've reduced it by 0.5, and I'll tell you why. Yeah, it was, like we've said, it was enjoyable. It's another solid popcorn comic book film, and I like that. And it wasn't an improvement on the first film, but it was like a continuation of the story, whatever. Had some funny one-liners. The end fight was good.
Good.
But and Woody Harrelson was great, although there were things I think could have been done to fix his character.
Yeah.
So, but the reason I'm not giving it a 3, because I do like these films. I'm a Venom fan.
I am.
The reason I'm giving it a 2.5 is simply because, due to the fact that the post-credits scene fully establishes that that these films, this universe, Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock / Venom, is a part of the Tom Holland MCU Spider-Man universe. And as we all know, there's only one Spider-Man, and that's Tobey Maguire. So for that reason, they lost the 0.5 of the score.
Sam, what do you give Venom Let There Be Carnage out of 5 oversized glow stick necklaces?
It might sound surprising, but I'm going to give it a 3.
Yeah?
It wasn't any better, it wasn't any worse. I was laughing all the way through. I enjoyed it. It's exactly what you just said, popcorn movie, and I feel like popcorn movie for me sits at 3.
Fair.
I know we've gone through some disappointing bits to it, and it felt a little bit chopped up. Could have been longer. There's obviously going to be little bits, but no. Ultimately, in the movie, I didn't come out of any. It's only through to talk about it afterwards. I've thought of things. 100%. Both a 3. Again, it felt like a continuation. So a 3.
And I'm going to be consistent and give it another 2.5. I've said it before. They just kind of took what they've already established and they just continued it. They didn't reduce it by too much. They didn't elevate it by too much. So I'd be harsh to mark it down to a 2. But I couldn't really bring myself to rise it up to a 3.
Okay.
I give it 3 oversized glow stick necklaces out of 5.
2.5.
It's
2.5.
It's a sort of does what it says on the tin kind of film basically at its core, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was a big moment at the end.
Yes.
For it to shift into the
that
MCU.
was very impressive. Yeah.
I mean, from what we kind of do know from what's going to be happening in the MCU, I don't want to say I saw it coming or I knew it was going to happen, but because it just does make sense, if they're having a multiverse crossover kind of period in MCU, which we've established from Loki, and so I could see it happening, but I didn't think they would do it necessarily in the post credits straight after.
Soon. I didn't think it was going to be this soon because it's only just been announced that Tom Hardy's Venom will meet Tom Holland's Spider-Man. They kind of announced that's going to happen. That was in the world, but they very much the way I understood it. The way I understood it is it sounded more like it was
like down the road.
Or that it was almost in discussion. It wasn't even confirmed.
Okay,
it was in discussion, and so they already knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So the best Venom is going to meet one of the Spider-Men.
Well, I just hope that it will be good, and they'll do they'll do it justice because as we all know, with great power comes great responsibility. Said by Uncle Ben in Spider-Man.
The one and only.
Featuring the one and only Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire. Toby, if you're listening, I've got you back, babes. Sorry, Stephen. This is Clem Fandango. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Clem Fandango.
Yeah, we just need you to do the shout out to all the platforms that the podcast is available on. When your own time, when you're ready.
All right. Mobile browser. Amazon Music. Player FM. Google Podcasts. Overcast. Deezer. Chromecast. Castbox. Spotify. Apple Podcasts. And that's all.
Oh God, that was brilliant. Thank you. So what else is there to like and subscribe? Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram.
We've got a new Twitter page as well. So follow us on Twitter at 2 Reels Podcast. It's all the same everywhere. 2 Reels Podcast.
Yeah.
Like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And just keep up to date with stuff that's coming up. Like we're doing Nightmare Before Christmas for Halloween. Controversial because is it a Halloween movie? Is it a Christmas movie? We'll settle that debate at some point. And you know, like we said,
have an answer. So.
Yeah. And in December it'll be Spider-Man month. So keep up to date with what's coming up. We got Dune, which will be before the end of the month, and I'm trying to get Squid Games before the beginning of November. So the
that'll be a popular one.
The Netflix smash hit, which has been great. I don't know why you two haven't actually seen it yet.
Oh yeah, Squid Game, potentially with your friend Aisha.
I refuse to watch shows that everyone that are banging on about at the time. So I will watch Squid Game in about 2 or 3 years
when there's like another few series
forgotten about it. Yeah, it's the same with that. Everyone was banging on about that Help. Is it Help with Jodie Comer and Stephen Graham?
Yeah.
Everyone's banging on, you got to watch it. Because they said that, I was like, right, I'm not going to watch it now. I'm going to wait about a year. Everyone will have forgot about it, and then I'll re-watch it on 4OD. And then be like, that Help's good, isn't it?
Cutting off your nose to spite your own face, like...
Where are you getting these? Another one of these sayings. Cutting off your... What?
Have you not heard that one?
Cutting off,
really not heard.
Cutting off your nose to wear your pants on your head to fly with what?
2 Reels Podcast. See you next week.